Startling Stories was an imprint at Marvel that lasted from 2001 to 2003. It featured stories that took place outside the mainline universe, telling more mature and darker stories. Banner was the first series to release, consisting of 4 issues with the combined talent of writer Brian Azzarello and artist Richard Corbin. What we have is one of the more depressing outlooks on the character that leans into the uncontrollable, destructive aspect of Banner's terrible disease. We begin with a brief flashback showing Hulk throwing a tantrum, destroying whatever lies in his path. Quickly, we see how much damage this incident truly did, much like any other natural disaster. Only this time, the destructive force may be anything but natural. The military arrives as they rightfully suspect that this was a Hulk situation. With the help of Doc Samson, the organization is set on capturing Bruce Banner. It's shown that Samson is responsible for helping cover up incidents like this by disguising them as something as normal as a tornado. Catching up with Banner, we see how alone and disturbed he is, sitting in the middle of what he feels responsible for. He's helped out by the medics on the scene and offers to help alongside them. When asked where he was when this happened, he explained that he had been taking shelter in a flop house when he was attacked by 3 men attempting to rob him. This triggered a Hulk out, leading to where he is now. Of course, he didn't tell them he was the Hulk. It was vague enough that they thought the tornado had struck right when he was ambushed. In the midst of helping, Bruce notices an injured cop still has a gun in his holster. This gives Bruce the idea that perhaps if he truly wants to be free of all this, he'll need to end his own life. With the sound of the gunshot, everything goes black. But upon fading back in, we see that not only did Bruce survive his attempt to off himself, it also woke up the big guy, and he's not happy. Hulk's rampage alerts the military, who arrive as Doc Samson tags along to use a new weapon created specifically for Hulk. First, they must get his attention, and off they go, firing away at the creature. Hulk gets a few licks in, which prompts Samson to use the special weapon. It doesn't appear to do anything, so Samson calls in a retreat. Not for the team, but himself, as he orders the rest of the troops to stay back and keep the Hulk occupied enough to not follow his chopper back to base. Later, we catch up to where Banner has ended up, that being an old liquor store. Banner asks the folks for some water, who seem to be holding someone hostage. Before Banner can drink, he's attacked by a dog. Next, the cops arrive, presumably for the hostage. They mistakenly try to apprehend Banner, but what finally sends him off is a single sting by a scorpion. Back at the base, in the middle of Doc Samson and General Ross discussing what exactly it is they'd want from Dr. Banner, they're alerted to his current outburst. Samson heads out to confront Hulk face to face, resulting in a brief scuffle where Hulk obviously ends up on top. Afterward, Banner finds himself in another area, asking various townspeople for assistance and relaxing in the middle of a park. Unfortunately, he's found yet again, but this time the military brings out gas that renders everyone, including Banner, unconscious. We find Banner in confinement at the base, where Samson is keeping him cool and calm with a special gas. It's revealed that Ross had ordered a neurosurgeon to perform a lobotomy on Banner. Whether it's to completely whittle him down to use the Hulk side all to himself is unclear, but Samson has objections to this, as he believes Banner's mind is far too valuable. A man of his intelligence surely would have thought of many other, better ways to suppress his alter ego. But Banner has no issues with this. He reveals to Samson that one day, the military took Banner on board a mysterious craft that later dropped him in the middle of a city. Next thing Banner knows, he wakes up in the middle of an area where a city once was. The military essentially used the Hulk as their own walking atomic bomb, and ever since that incident, Banner couldn't think of any other purpose he served than just to be a force for terror. Truthfully, he just wants to die. Samson decides to honor Bruce's wish, as to him, it'd be a win-win situation, with the Hulk also wanting Banner dead. So, Samson pulls the plug and leaves Bruce to die. Or so they thought. That wraps up the story. It's an isolated series that keeps its focus on the tragedy Bruce Banner faces every day with his Hulk problem, and the military on his back at every opportunity. It's been one of my favorite Hulk stories for a while, and I think it's held up well, especially with how more people have come to embrace Hulk's darker and horror elements recently. I like the way the story highlights the constant paranoia over whether a disaster in a small town was something Banner was responsible for. This version of Hulk doesn't seem to be held back subconsciously by Banner, so that makes it even worse, as he's just purely uncontrollable with no safeguard. Richard Corbin's art makes it even better. I'm sure most would find it ugly and uncanny, but that's exactly why I like it. It just further makes things unsettling. This series is a solid recommendation for those who haven't checked it out. There is a collection of this series with Hulk the End, which is such a depressing matchup, but it fits all too well. There's also a regular version with just Banner, and of course you can find the individual comics online.